My dear brothers and sisters, as you have recently been informed, Bishop Bradley has announced that parishes in the Diocese of Kalamazoo will be open for the resumption of the public celebration of Masses on the weekend of May 30th and 31st. While this is good news, we must not make the false assumption that the virus has been eradicated, nor should we in any way assume for 1 minute that this silent enemy cannot raise its ugly head anywhere and any time again. We must continue to do everything we can to observe and scrupulously practice all recommendations given to us by health experts. That will be particularly important and mandated as we gather again in our churches for communal worship. As I have mentioned in previous communications, the way we celebrated our weekend Masses prior to Palm Sunday will not be the way we will be celebrating Mass during this pandemic. Things will be different and maybe even make us feel uncomfortable. Keeping that in mind and with an abundance of caution, we will need everyone to be patient and fully cooperate with the guidelines that we will be putting into place. These will be enacted to ensure as best we can the safety of all who come into our worship spaces. Your observance of these guidelines is an act of charity. I want to highlight some of the most important precautions that we will be observing. Number one, I understand we all miss the celebration of Mass and receiving the Holy Eucharist, but we must be prudent. During this time, we must balance the spiritual health and the physical health of all of us. This is especially true for the most vulnerable members of our communities. Those over 65 years old, those in high-risk category of contracting the virus, and those with colds or fevers. These individuals should carefully decide whether or not they should be in a large community. They are not obligated to attend Mass, nor are those who just may not feel comfortable returning to Mass at this time. All are dispensed from the obligation to attend Sunday Mass until September 6th. 2, all will be required to wear a protective mask going into church, during Mass, and leaving Mass. Please bring your own mask. If you forget or do not have one, the church will provide you with one. You will be asked to wash your hands with hand sanitizer upon entering the church proper. Third, ushers will lead you to your pew where social distancing will be observed. Tape will mark social distancing space for those waiting in line to be seated. Please be patient and cooperate with the ushers' directions. You most likely will not have your forever pew that you have been accustomed to. At the end of Mass, beginning from the back, the ushers will dismiss pew by pew, and you will leave by the door closest to the section where you were seated. For the time being, we need to ask you to leave immediately after Mass to your cars. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is that we do everything we can to cooperate with these procedures. I cannot guarantee a 100% safe environment when we return for communal worship. I can only assure you that we will do all we can to exercise extreme prudence in putting into place all recommendations from health experts. Your cooperation and patience are essential. We may be returning, and so could the virus. I just pray that in the eagerness to return, we do nothing that will negatively affect the health of anyone that gathers. To avoid that, we must all do our part. Thank you, and God bless you.